So, how much of that movie do you think Jake actually saw?
Okay. Here's the thing. I'm actually not sure because he had his cap tilted just so we were both sitting to the left of Jake, right? And he had his cap tilted so we couldn't see his eye line.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, he's definitely out. And,
Yeah, but he kept moving every once in a while.
No, and the one time I tapped him, I was like, dude, are you awake? And he immediately looked over and was like, yeah. And I was like, oh.
And then
he's awake.
It's very much like one of those stereotypical movie tropes or TV tropes when a character, an emo character has hair that covers their eyes, so you never know where they're looking.
Right.
That's the kind of vibe it was giving.
Yeah.
And I remember when I went up to go use the bathroom a couple times because I drank a Slurpee.
He drank a Slurpee.
I drank a Slurpee.
It's a tradition.
Every time I go to the theater, I have to drink a Slurpee.
And you also consecutively have to use the bathroom 23 times.
I feel like this normally I hold it, but But this time I've already seen this movie, guys. Just so you know, if you're not up to speed yet, we saw the movie Saturday night. This was the second time me and Jonah have seen it.
Well,
okay, for Jonah, this is the 2.5 time he's seen it.
I have seen the movie Saturday night 2.5 times. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, no, but overall, I wanted him to actually watch it and experience it.
Yeah, he admitted up front, he was like, guys, I'm tired. And I could just see it in bro's eyes.
Yeah, so
he wasn't all there.
Yeah, so we carpooled to the theater. And as we're walking back and we're in the car, we're like, okay, before we're recording this pod, we're like, we should, or I think you mentioned, we're like, hey, we should tell Jake he can go home. Yeah. If he's sleepy, he can go.
He's sleepy eepy. Yeah, he needs to go honk shoe. Or honk me.
Honk shoe.
Honk shoe. Sleep on that thing. No. Honk shoe.
Dude, the first 2 minutes.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I would say that's a new record, but it's not. It's not.
I don't think it is.
It's not a new record.
No. But anyways, so we're driving, and then on Instagram, I get a message in our Loud on Set group chat, and Jake's like, my mom is calling me for dinner. And the thing about Jake, and I was warned about this behavior.
This type of behavior, this precedent that he will set.
But I'm going to cut the man some slack. I'm not mad. He was tired. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. If I was tired too, I wouldn't want to film a podcast.
That's so real. You're not presentable. Yeah. You're not up to your content game.
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty mellowed out right now. I'm not tired.
Me neither.
And I'm not really sleepy. I'm just more I'm just not super energetic. But I'm pretty mellowed out.
I'm super mellow as well.
I feel like after seeing movies, that kind of does that to me.
Yeah, I kind of get a 15-minute burst of energy, and then the rest of the night just mellow. Cruise. Yeah.
So okay, where do we even start?
Oh, I don't know where to start. We could talk about the microphone. We could talk about seeing Saturday Night 2.5. We could talk about Megalopolis.
Ooh. Well, hold on.
Oh, okay. Am I getting ahead of myself?
Not necessarily. Okay, hold on. Let me just. Hello, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Loud on Set podcast.
Hello.
We're your co-hosts. I'm Austin.
I'm Jonah.
And we normally have a third, and his name is Jake, but he is sleepy.
He's a little eepy tonight,
so he's not here. And occasionally maybe a fourth.
We're willing to have guests on the show if you want to be a guest.
We have a couple guests lined up, guys.
We've got some heat coming into the studio in the next few
couple weeks,
months, years.
But maybe you just bear with us here as we just kind of get our footing. Mm-hmm. This is a new environment. It is quite literally the same building. The last episode was shot maybe 5 feet to my left. Mm-hmm. But we're just testing out new environments. I think maybe we can do this type of setting if it's a 2-person.
Yeah.
And then we kind of go out into the larger room there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm just excited to see where this goes. I'm excited. We have some guests lined up. I want our holy grail is to get Mr. Wendland.
Mr. Wendland,
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod, Mr. Wendland. If you're seeing this, please, we'll have you on our show for literally any topic.
Anything.
We
let's not share the topics we have.
We've cooked some ideas per se.
Yeah, we have. Okay, well do we want to dive right into movies, or do we want to dive into other in-person experiences?
Well, okay. Do we just tell our story chronologically? Like, do we start with the time we saw Whiplash for the anniversary?
Yeah. No, let's start there. So the last episode. Also, let me just point out the last episode was definitely something interesting. It just wasn't recorded very well.
We had a microphone snafu, if you will.
Yeah. So this is more of, I don't know. I just feel like this is good. This is already a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. This is more casual. We've got 2 microphones of the same variety.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that clears up any.
I think we also just got a little ahead of ourselves. We had 2 cameras, and it just.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we don't really need all that.
Guys, we got a little big for our britches, as they say.
We've downscaled.
In big britch industry.
Yeah. Okay, bro.
All right.
Okay. So the last pod was filmed right before we saw Whiplash, because it was the anniversary, the 10-year anniversary of that movie. And if you want to see where Whiplash is on my top 10, you could watch the other podcast, but if I don't want to really put you through that. I think it was my number 4. I'm not.
Did I even put Whiplash as an honorable?
No, Whiplash wasn't.
I might have.
I don't think you maybe had it as an honorable, but we talked about it. So I think it was an honorable, but it wasn't like one of the ones you listed.
Right. And let me make it clear, like Whiplash, if I didn't say it in the video, Whiplash is very much an honorable mention. I think I only had like 5 honorable mentions, and let's be real, I could have up to like 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Whiplash is great. Obviously, it turned 10 years old, which was I mean, I wasn't like a film enjoyer when it first came out, so getting to see it on the second wave was a great opportunity.
Yeah, I talked about it in the last pod that movie was really like it was one of the few movies that got me into actually enjoying not necessarily movies but film as an entire genre,
like an art medium.
Yeah. No, my great uncle David, bless his heart, he showed it to me. I think either the year of or the year after it came out. I just remember I was very little.
That's rough.
And my brother, he showed me and my brother. My brother really enjoyed it. He's 3 years older, so he kind of like it probably resonated a little bit more with him than it did with me at the time. But looking back at it, it is a phenomenal film, and it definitely deserved its spot on my top 10 anyways. Apparently not for some people, but
I've just seen better movies than Whiplash. Maybe you should watch more movies.
What was the line in Saturday Night? He was like, I'm sorry that
your abilities don't surpass my expectations.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
Or no, he's like, I'm sorry that my expectations surpasses your ability.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the inverse of what I said. But yeah. Man, Whiplash, what a phenomenal.
And okay, my great uncle, he has quite the theater set up in his home. He has a big TV. He has a really nice sound system. He's a music guy, so he's an audiophile, as some people might unfortunately say.
That makes him sound like bad people.
Okay, no, he's okay. No.
Guys, did you hear about
he
what he
did?
did?
He lives in Costa Rica.
That's right.
But not because.
Is he on the lam? Is he on the run?
No. Band on the Run.
Yeah, Band on the Run is a song and an album.
It's a good album.
It's a great album.
Allie actually gave me. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've heard this story.
Okay, yeah, she gave me a bunch of old vinyls, albums,
records, dude. You said it wrong 2 times in a row. Guys, I got a bunch of vinyls.
So what's wrong with saying vinyl?
Vinyl is the plural of vinyl. It's like a fact. I don't.
So she gave me a bunch of vinyl. Okay.
Accept your fate.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. He has a nice theater
Back to a-
system.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He has a nice kind of like theater system in his house, but there's just nothing like seeing it on the big screen. And although I wish it was an IMAX, because I think that movie would kill.
It would kill in IMAX.
Unfortunately, it was just a regular theater screen. But like even then, it's just like the experience was really good.
It was so good. I would. Okay, so like my thing with movies is like I do this like really maniacal thing. I usually watch a movie for the first time on a laptop.
Oh,
and that's where I get like the first impression. Like, am I into this thing? Is it into
1,
me?
2, 3 movies?
No, DVDs. I have an old Mac with a DVD drive.
I see.
Yeah, so I'm watching like 720p, like
How to Train Your Dragon.
No.
That's such a good.
It's a good movie. I just have not watched it on my Mac yet. But then, like, if I enjoy it, I watch it on like a TV screen, and I'm like, oh, that's rad. And then ideally, big number 3 is like a theater, and that is what happened with Whiplash.
Really?
First time on a laptop, second time on a big screen, third time on a theater screen. And I'm waiting for step number 3 to happen with Blade Runner 2049.
And we might possibly have an episode coming up after we see The Lighthouse. Fortnite.
It's a great movie. He hasn't seen it yet.
I have not seen it, and I was gonna see it shortly after the last episode we recorded, which for time frame, this will probably come out a lot sooner from when it was recorded than the last episode did.
Yeah, no kidding. So we saw Whiplash probably late September.
What? When was it? Like September 15th?
Dog, it was something like that.
It was a while. No, 20th. Or one of those numbers.
No, it was 20th.
Because 20th. Dang.
I don't know why I remember that. But yeah, okay. So we've had that episode in the vault for about a month and a half.
Yeah. Our kind of, well, we dealt with a lot of like technical issues, and then part of me eventually came to the conclusion that because it's not going to be up to the standard that I would like it to be, I'm just gonna release it pretty close to when this is released, because this is good. This is already more comfortable.
Yeah. This is better.
But it's kind of meta talking about a podcast on a podcast.
Yeah, slow your roll, dude. That's crazy.
No, but we're gonna go see The Lighthouse. After we recorded the last episode, I was gonna watch it, and then I heard that it's coming back into theaters.
Yep.
Is it per an anniversary?
No,
or is
actually,
it just fan favorite?
Not even that. It's like A24, the production company, obviously.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, produced The Lighthouse. They do this thing, and it's like, it doesn't have to be for an anniversary, doesn't have to be for a special occasion. They just are constantly re-releasing their movies. I think like they do one A24 movie a month in IMAX. Yeah.
Okay.
So I know this year they've played like Hereditary and Midsummer, and I think they did Uncut Gems, which I really wanted to see in IMAX, but I couldn't quite make it. I was graduating at the time. So, and now they're doing The Lighthouse in November.
Yeah.
It's not October anymore.
Get your month straight, Jack.
He doesn't have his month straight. That's...
Get your month straight, Jack.
He doesn't have his month straight.
I'm once again asking for you to get your month straight.
Everybody get
back-to-back impressions.
Everybody get your month straight.
Okay, no, that's bad. That's bad.
Guys,
that's bad.
I am so sorry, Robert F. Kennedy.
We love Robert F. Kennedy.
We love you. We know you have a vocal problem. I'm not making...
I think it was cancer.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Well, yes.
I'm not making fun of your cancer. I'm laughing with you. If anything,
dude, you need to stop.
Let's cut that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So what were we even talking about?
We were talking about The Lighthouse.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see The Lighthouse. I don't know a whole lot about it. I actually thought it was kind of like a Call Me By Your Name situation.
So the most interesting part about you not having seen The Lighthouse is we had this conversation probably
a week ago.
Austin comes up to me and he says, I don't know anything about The Lighthouse. and I was like, oh well, okay, give me like the baseline knowledge of what
Mm-hmm.
and essentially what you told me is that you were under the impression it was like a Call Me by Your Name movie, and I was like, this is not the case. There are like the slightest of undertones of semblances of possibility. Like it's so buried deep, but like it's not at all like explicit or like made out to be like that. It's more psychological than anything.
Okay. Again, dude, I am so stoked to see it, and I'm glad that my first experience is it IMAX.
It's IMAX. You're not
That's
ready.
Gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
Out of my own, because I've actually only seen it once, which is wild for me to call it a honorable mention favorite movie if I've only seen it one time. But I was like, okay, before I go shell the money to go see this in IMAX, which I don't have to do anymore.
Yeah,
I'm a Stubs member or an A-list member.
We'll get into that in a second.
We'll get into that in a second. But I was like, let's see if this movie is as good as I remember it being. And 3 minutes in, I was like, yep, this is the one.
Yeah,
this is it. And you'll know what I mean. There are shots in there that are like immaculate. Like these shots in the first 3 minutes alone put Robert Eggers, the director, in like a tier above everybody else working right now.
S tier.
In S tier, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah. It's wild.
I think we should talk about some investments we've made.
We have
recently.
made podcast investments, guys. In where do we begin?
Okay, well, let's just like start off with the calm ones. We'll go in order. Me and Jonah both ended up buying A-list Stubs.
AMC Stubs A-list subscription.
Just for the pod. For you
guys. So we can go review films and,
not have to spend $1 million
no, because
at the theater.
The thing is, like a ticket's like what, $12 for an adult.
Yeah, and then IMAX is like $20.
Exactly. So if I'm gonna go see an IMAX movie, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But I paid for 3 tickets to go see Saturday Night. Actually, I paid for 2 because one of them I used Stubs for. But the point still stands. I paid more for 2 tickets than I would for Stubs. Yeah, which is crazy.
And you get like 3. We're not sponsored, by the way.
We're not.
No one would want to sponsor us.
It's kind of real.
But
maybe Haley Welch.
Dude, imagine. That should be our next guest. No, but you get like 3 free movies, drink upgrades. It's mainly the movies that we really care about.
Yeah. Slushies.
I
don't think there are slushy perks.
There is not slushy perks, unfortunately.
That's crazy. No slushy perks. Unfortunate.
Okay. So like, dude, I think you should. Oh, I'll start this next part off, and then you finish the story.
Okay.
So when we ran into audio issues last podcast, we were like, okay, we should like maybe invest in another microphone, because the problem was we had 2 really similar microphones. And those sounded fine. That's what me and Jonah used last episode. But the problem was the odd man out one we gave to Jake, and he's more of like he's a quiet talker.
Mellow. Yeah.
Which isn't a problem because people all speak at different volumes. But because he spoke quieter, the dynamics of the mic pick up a lot. Which when I'm trying to turn his volume up, then you hear me and Jonah talking. You get an echo. Not to mention, it was recorded in a different. What is it even called? Like,
we recorded in. Okay, so the 2 microphones that Austin and I were using, I believe, were both recorded in Logic Pro.
Yeah.
And you were recording Jake's mic straight to like an audio interface, like physical little thing, and Austin shot me back the audio files and was like, "Fix this."
Dude, so the problem, I put it in my editor, and I click sync, and it syncs it, and then I skip to like 20 minutes into the pod, and it's just completely unsynced.
Yeah, that was the... Go ahead.
Yeah, for layman's terms, it's like basically a frame rate on a camera. So if you're shooting in 30 frames per second versus...
These are still not layman's terms.
Is it not?
You're a film guy.
Oh, dude, you're so right.
Let's talk about... What's layman's terms for like...
Oh, dude, I don't even know.
I don't know either.
So basically, we were recording in 2 different ways, and over time, I'm going to use frame rate, because why not? If you're shooting in 60 frames per second versus 30 frames per second, over time, you're going to get inconsistencies where it's going to start to not line up anymore, which was the problem that we ran into. And we were like, okay, I guess the solution here is buying a third microphone that will then allow us to be able to have more consistency throughout the entire pod.
And buy a third microphone we did.
Well, let me just mention, dude, I searched. Okay, I'm an avid marketplace user. I will to my grave. To my grave, I love Facebook Marketplace. And I searched and searched and searched for an SM58, which is this microphone right here. Well, technically the one we got is this one, but that's
right.
We'll get into that. So I searched and searched and searched, and I found one. Just didn't really. It was too expensive. It was too far.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found one that was relatively close. So first of all, let's just say like we're thankful that we were able to get a piece of equipment for the price we did.
Okay, yeah. Let's not like mince words here. We have a piece of equipment we didn't have before, and it's usable, it works, and we're thankful to have it. And eventually, one day, return on investment on this pod will buy us another better
Hopefully.
microphone. Ideally.
Yeah, but it's more of to allow us to be able to just yap. This is all an elaborate ploy and excuse for us to just sit down and talk about movies.
What you guys don't understand is that we love to yap, and now we have an audience.
Well, not yet.
Well, by the hopefully when this comes out.
Maybe
we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. No, but basically, I found a lady that was selling a microphone, and she was selling it for $100, which the problem there is that's the price you can get it new.
Yeah.
And it did not look new.
No,
it by no means is new. But the thing is, these microphones are super robust, so like no matter like what condition they're in, they're probably gonna sound great regardless.
Yeah. My professor at the community college, he told me that he drove over one of these in a van and it worked.
Yeah.
So like these are like. They're built to last. They're built to work.
For sure. And there's probably 40 of these things sitting in a box in the back of your local church.
That's
There's so many of these things. Anyways, I lowballed, as I do. I did 60.
You're balling low.
I thought 60 was a good, like, it's used. It's still a good microphone. That's a decent price. So that's what I offered. She agreed. I was like, sick. And then I look at her like profile picture, and have you ever been like scrolling on like Instagram or TikTok, and then you get like those like videos with like 4 likes, and it's just like some old person, that clearly has some issue.
Mm-hmm.
So let's imagine that, and then with like a Snapchat beauty filter.
No, the Snapchat beauty filter was not there when I met this person in real life.
It was their picture on Facebook was more Snapchat filter than it was their actual face.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not gonna try to like dog on people for like.
Oh, me neither. But
here's where the issue came in.
Yeah,
this person, I'm not gonna name places, but the city that we live in is about. What'd you say, 15, 20 minutes from where this lady lived.
Yeah.
And I live about 30 minutes from the city. So it's almost an hour for me to get to this spot. And Jonah lived in the same city that are like relatively close.
I'm in the same township.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, Jonah, this is for the pod. We're going halvesies on it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you like pick it up for me? And he's like, sure. And I'm like, you sure? Like, you good? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. This is where a story starts to take a turn.
Yeah.
Let me mention, this person's communication was not great. But at the same time, I also wasn't being great because I kept saying that there was days I could make it and then realizing I can't make it because it's so far.
Mm-hmm. It's a huge commitment.
Yes. So I was saying, okay, do you mind if I have my friend come and pick it up? Mm-hmm. And she's like, sure, whatever. And then I'm like, okay. I'm like, where we set on a time and date, and I let Jonah know, and I'm like, okay, where do you want to meet up? And then she says the Dollar General.
A Dollar General.
Mind you, the time we picked is 6 p.m. and it's winter here. It's starting to become winter here in Michigan, so it's dark. It's like pitch black by 6 p.m.
6 p.m. is midnight black.
Yes, it
Full
really is.
dark.
So I'm like, oh shoot, now Jonah has to go meet this lady in the pitch black at Dollar General.
Is this where I start sliding in my?
Not yet. Not yet. So then I message her. I messaged Jonah. I'm like, okay, wait, what car do you drive? And he's like, it's a silver. I don't know. The silver Honda CRV is such a popular car. It doesn't really.
Everyone's got a silver CRV.
So he's like, silver CRV. And I messaged her that, and I'm like, what are you driving? And she's like, I'm walking. It is pouring rain.
No, because Michigan in November has no reason to be raining like that. It should be snowing. I'm going to be real.
No.
But it's pouring like it's like April. April showers up in here.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I feel like now this is the point of the story where you can go ahead.
I'm going to give a little bit of context. I'm kind of like going to take where you ended and go back a bit, but from my perspective.
Got it.
So Austin is messaging me about this woman, and I have already agreed to go pick up the microphone, right? But I start to get a little wary about this woman. The aggressive face filter. Again, I'm not judging the way she looks, anything like that. It's just so abundantly a filter. I'm like, okay, something's a little odd here.
I didn't even mention the post.
I know. So Austin is screenshotting this woman's post, and it's nightmare fuel. Like, there's a
I know one word for word, pretty much.
Okay, go for it.
So there was this one she reposted. It was a photo of the Joker, and he was holding up like a playing card, like Heath Ledger's Joker, and it was. Oh wait, no, do I not know it?
I know it.
You know it? Go ahead. What is it?
So it said, when people treat you like an option, leave them like it's
When people treat you like a choice, leave them like an option.
No, it was vice versa.
Was it?
No, you're right. Wait, what? Okay, it's kind
of.
I
can pull it up.
It's kind of the same thing, either way, but like creepy, almost like
maniacal,
maniacal vibes, if you will.
Okay.
Can you read?
Yeah, if people treat you like an option, leave them like a choice. And then there's a logo in the corner that's like the makeup. It's like a vector image of the makeup of Heath Ledger's Joker, and it says dash devil quotes.
Yeah, she pulled that from a Facebook page called Devil Quotes.
And and it was posted in 2021, and she reposted it in October.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yes. But it was just like posts upon posts of like this lady. Like, it was all very much like single bait posts.
Yeah.
Where it's like the goal of the post is to get single people to repost them. So this lady is very apparently single. And then also, like, which is, again, that's fine. This is where the issue kind of became, where I was like concerned, and I started to feel bad for Jonah for asking him to do this favor of me. So there's a post, there's a community Facebook group for the town we live in, and I saw that she posted in it like a month ago, and it was like, hey, is anyone heading to insert her town name? I need a ride, and I'm out of bus tickets. So I'm wondering. So
there are so many.
Now I'm feeling bad for underpaying her for this microphone, and then also now I'm feeling bad for Jonah because it's pouring rain and she's walking, and I'm scared that she's gonna ask for a ride.
And if there's one thing I don't give to strange women in the rain, it's
at pitch black nighttime.
At pitch black nighttime, it's rides. That's crazy.
You heard it here, folks.
I do not give rides to women.
Okay. Continue.
Anyway. I digress.
Oh,
what I was trying to get at was like, no way, this woman's gonna ask me for a ride. It's pouring rain. I frankly don't feel comfortable because hate to make like judgmental assumptions of this type, but if she is the kind of person to run out of bus tickets and ask on Facebook for rides, I have this kind of like inkling of a notion that she might also be the person to pull out a shiv and like put it up to my neck and be like, drive fast. And I'm like, so I don't want her in my car. Anyway, so the posts he's sending me are like freaking me out. Not too bad. I wasn't
freaky posts.
Freaky
They are
posts.
freaky.
They are freaky. Wasn't there one post about like you'll know when you find the one?
Yeah. It was like it's like you might not know from your past experiences, but when you see it, you'll know when you find the one.
Yeah, and it's just like weird stuff like that, like the kind of thing that's not like unsavory, but if you see someone post it on like Facebook,
it's like every day.
Yeah.
It's a constant stream of these posts.
It's weird. It's just weird, okay? And so I'm like, and I had forgotten about the time change. This was like 2 days after the time change.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be fully dark. It's pouring outside. And this woman is walking up to my car.
And she's going to look and she's going to see he's not a bad looking fella. So it's like,
stop it.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
Her intentions were unclear.
So now dive more into like what the in-person experience was like. Because I still don't know much about that. I just know like
I'll just give you the run through.
Okay.
So I pull up to the Dollar General, as one does, and so I park under the street lamp because the street lamp for whatever reason is not pointing out towards the street. It's like caved into the parking lot.
Okay.
Which is like a little odd because if I'm driving at night on the street, I want to know where I'm driving. I don't want to know where I'm parking per se. But I kind of get it. Whatever. It's off topic. But so basically I park under the street lamp and I'm not in contact directly with this woman. I'm not on Facebook, which is another thing. But I text Austin. I'm like, dude, can you let her know I'm here under the street lamp? And he says yes. And I wait. And I kind of get to thinking, like, maybe she does have a car. She just doesn't want to use it for, like, gas money reasons. It's pouring rain. The woman doesn't want to walk.
Yeah.
So I look out for people in cars. And there's this woman that is in a car that looks exactly like the one. I'm not even kidding. Probably has something to do with the town that I bought this product in.
There's a stereotype.
There's a bit of a stereotype associated with this township. But anyway, I get out of my car. I'm like, you the one with the SM58? And this woman dead glared me and was like, what? And I was like, oh. So then I got back in my car. And anyway, I'm sitting there chilling.
You called me.
I called you.
Yeah, and my first reaction is, why is that not... Who starts a conversation like that?
Someone
wouldn't you be like, hey, are you... Insert the person's name.
I didn't know her name.
I told him the name over the phone prior. He forgot. Then I messaged it to him afterwards.
Yeah, and then I had it in writing and I remembered. And I confirmed her name once I actually did see her. But it was horrifying because she told me she's walking, okay? And that's not like... Walking, you can do that anywhere. Driving, you got to have a road. This woman could come from 360 anywhere.
And you're in the middle of a parking lot under a street lamp.
I'm in the middle of a parking lot under a street lamp in the pouring rain. So I'm just kind of like eyeing out of the passenger window. I'm like, what's going on out there? And I turn my head this way, and she's like staring into my car. I was like, oh, freaked me out. Anyway, I climb out. I'm like, are you the woman? You know, I say her name. And she's like, yes.
Did she sound like a smoker?
She didn't talk much. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
She said very minimal words.
Okay. And that's important to this story.
Yes, that's
not just me being
right
like a douche.
Oh, was she a smoker? Could you just tell from the way she... No, it plays into the story later. But so she shows me the microphone. And not only that, it has an XLR cable attached to it. I was like, wow, what a generous lady. This wasn't even mentioned in the listing. It's got an XLR cable, which is, you know, what you plug a microphone in with. And then she pulls out these two stands. And I don't know what they do. And she tried to explain it, but I don't think she's very, like,
knowledgeable
about
this type of like tech.
I was going to say in the way of the English language.
Oh.
but
That's crazy.
But yeah, from what I could pick up in the pouring rain, and her kind of low, quiet voice, it was something like, "These are the stands that went with it, but weren't supposed to, so you can have them now." I don't know what that means. I don't even know if I heard her correctly.
She got with them, but they weren't supposed to. I don't even know. Dude.
I don't. It's like it just barely doesn't make sense. Like it's almost there. It's like there's a word missing. But anyway, and we had established that this woman's grammar was not anything to write home about, due to her Facebook posting and DMs. But so she gives me the microphone, which is what I was paying for, the cable, and the 2 stands. Okay. Now there's one element of the story that I did not disclose. I brought my mom with me to Dollar General.
Okay.
Bro had shopping to do. Bro wanted tortilla chips.
You didn't want to get kidnapped.
This is real. I was like, "Go with me," and she was like, "Sure." So I'm not about to get shivved, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my mom, the interaction happens while my mom is shopping in the store. She had stuff to pick up for dinner at Dollar General. I don't know, but and she was like, "Oh, how'd it go?" And I went, "Oh, that's great." And she picks up the stuff because I put it on the passenger seat because she wasn't back yet.
Yeah.
And she picks up the stuff and she's like, "Oh my gosh." And I'm like, "What?" Because she doesn't know anything about microphones or stands or cables. I thought she saw something wrong with them. I was like, "Oh no, what did you see that I didn't see?" And she said, "Smell this." Which is the most diabolical sentence that can ever be uttered ever.
When you're told to smell this in terms of something that you're supposed to hold up to your face,
let me tell you, there's a reason I keep ducking this down. This woman clearly smokes. It is bad. Not only does my hand like reek of cigarette
Let me get a waft.
stank.
Dude, that's so bad.
It's foul. I've had it up to my face the whole time.
God.
I'm nose blind to it. Low key, it almost smells like apples.
These things,
like
these things like can basically go in water.
Yeah, it actually did fall in water.
I think we should unscrew this somehow and just clean it.
Yeah,
it definitely. Oh my god.
But like currently, right now, my hand is sticky. It smells like
sticky.
It's sticky, dude.
Oh.
Like the mic is just a little. I don't know. I mean, it's like.
I mean, it sounds great.
It sounds great. It's an SM58. What more can you ask for? Unfortunately, I can't ask for more.
that being smoke.
Can I have a microphone that is not stanky?
Dang. So is that where your story ends?
Yeah. It wasn't much of a story.
Well, no, it was.
Was it?
Well, let me tell you something that I didn't tell you at all.
Oh.
This is about these bad boys.
Oh.
I picked up 4 directors' chairs for the pod, also on Marketplace, and I just thought this would be fun to tell because this is because it's almost funny how different our Facebook experiences were. So at first I was looking for director's chairs because we don't really have a set. We kind of move backgrounds, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to have one thing be consistent, that being these director's chairs. Because I thought, it's a somewhat movie-related podcast. It'd be kind of cool to have director's chairs. They're all in fun colors, and I was like, oh, nice. So I offer on this one lady's post 4 chairs. She has 4 chairs. I go $50. That's what she was asking for. And I'm like, I can pick it up. I'm like, sure. So the day I wake up, right? I get ready. We're meeting earlier. I get ready. I get in my car. And then she messages me, "Sorry, I sold them to someone else." As I was going to go pick them up.
Madman behavior.
Who does that? I should have rated them a 1 star.
Did you not?
Oh, no, I think I did, actually.
Good.
Okay, anyways.
Vengeance has been served.
Then this other guy was selling, for some reason, people just in our town are just selling sets of 4 director's chairs.
No, because you found quite a few listings in our town.
With 4,
in our
specifically 4
nowhere
chairs.
Town, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not nowhere, but like, might as well be.
So, anyways, this person, I messaged them about.
It's so gross.
So I messaged them, and it was again $50. 4 chairs. I messaged them. And I'm like, okay, I don't see any other listings with exactly 4 chairs. We want 4 because we want 1 for a guest and then the 3 main people.
Mm-hmm.
So I go and I message him. No reply. The next day, I message him, hey, just wondering if you got my message. No reply. Then I proceed for the next probably 4 to 5 days messaging them. Dude, it was desperate. Daily, basically saying like, hey, I could really use these. I can pick them up right now.
Didn't at one point you straight up text, I need these?
I said, I need this.
Oh, I need this.
And then they finally messaged me back. The dude messaged me back. His house here is his summer home. I don't know. I don't even know if I told you this.
You did.
Okay. Well, and then he lives in Florida. So he's like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm in Florida right now. I won't be back till May. And I'm like, okay, well, can you like, I'm like, is there anyone that could like, over here that could like help me get a hold of these? He's like, let me check. Didn't ever respond. Somehow I search up today, as of the day we're recording this, director's chair on Facebook Marketplace. Person selling a set of 4, colorful. They're not as tall, but I actually like the lower to the ground.
Yeah, this is very chill.
Yeah, so I messaged her. She has a listing for 75. I offer 50. I'm a madman. She said no. She said, can we meet a little bit closer to my price? Then she offers 60. I'm like, no, I'll take it. So I pull in to what I think is the house, right? And it is it's a house.
A house?
It looked like a shed. And now thinking back of it, it may have, because a lot of, especially out where I picked it up, it's more rural. So a lot of people have like sheds or pole barns, and then deeper into their property, they'll have like a nicer house. So I think that's what I pulled into first. And it was like the doorbell was like falling off. And I ring the doorbell. I am almost 95% positive like it doesn't work and it didn't actually ring. So then I knocked. No answer. Mm. So then I messaged this lady. I'm like, hey, I'm here. So I take a step back, right? I stand in the driveway. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm in the driveway. And she's like, okay. She's like, my daughter's just pulling out now. So like pulling out of the driveway. And she's like, so just pull in right after. I'm like, okay. And then I see in the house next to me to my left, a car pulling out. I'm like, I am at the wrong house. And then I pull into this driveway of this lady's house. This is a nice house, dude. Their mailbox was a pirate ship.
That's
like
rad.
A model pirate ship.
That's rad.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I pull in and I meet with the lady. She's super sweet, dude.
Yeah.
She's so nice.
I feel like
her husband's blowing like leaves or something.
The location you visited, like the town, is like the version of the town I visited, but like nice.
So it's like in Back to the Future.
Dude, that's crazy.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he comes back to his timeline and like his neighborhood is just like.
No, he comes back
like
to the timeline.
Like the hood.
Yeah. There's like bars on the windows.
Yeah, no, there's bars on the windows. There's cats and dogs running through the street. Like.
Yeah. Cats and dogs.
Gunshots in the background.
I know, dude. And it's crazy because like there are gunshots in this town, but not because of like murder. It's because of like the hunters.
Yeah. Well, okay. So anyways, I pull in. I meet with this lady. She shows me the chairs. She shows me how they work. She's like, I just got new like material for them. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Sick. And like that was it. And I left and she was super nice. And as I was leaving, I'm like, dude, I got like the most like the opposite experience of you.
Yeah.
Like daytime, super bright. She was watching her grandchildren. Like,
oh, and there's an element of my story I forgot to mention.
Oh dear.
I was gonna say, so you know how this woman just appeared out of nowhere?
Yeah.
And I know it's a cliche. It was on a dark and stormy night. She left as suddenly as she arrived. Like she was like, okay, have a nice night. She gives you the microphone and like I grab it, I hold it, I look back up,
gone.
Girl is gone. She's
like, you don't know where she is?
No.
Are we sure she's real?
Dude, you know like those stories about like Robert Johnson meeting the devil at like the crossroads?
No, dude, she turned into smoke.
Yeah, that's so real.
She turned into smoke.
Yeah.
And she went through the sewer drains.
this is some crazy Stephen King stuff right now. This is some lore. But
oh man,
yeah, I don't think this woman doesn't exist.
dude, she's not
Crazy.
figment of our imagination. Okay, well, this isn't the Facebook Marketplace podcast.
It could be. Let us know.
No, so Megalopolis.
Megalopolis. Well, let me tell you, this movie sucked.
Okay, so this is a difficult
Mega-
movie to. Okay, bro.
Okay.
Say it.
Will you beep it out?
Sure.
If I say all the words, can you beep me?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's I don't know who in the audience is familiar with Letterboxd, but
yeah.
it's just imagine like half social media, half film review, and it's like a combo website where people can interact and meet and stuff. But
if you're watching this and you don't have it, download it.
download it. It's rad. But anyway, the most popular
Letterboxd.
review for the movie Megalopolis. I almost just said the other one. One of the most popular reviews for the movie Megalopolis is just one sentence. No period. It's very Gen Z.
Is it any caps?
No capitals.
Okay.
The sentence is simply this sucked mega which is crazy. It's like it has like 30,000 likes, which is the craziest thing in the world. People saw that and were like, "Oh yeah, film criticism. I mess with that hard, dude."
Okay, so now should we talk about
Talk-
our experience?
Yeah,
So
get into it.
it was just me and Jonah.
Mhm.
Jake didn't come to this one. I don't think he actually could.
I don't know what
I
happened
think
there.
he was working.
Yeah, I think what did we see it on a Tuesday?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember either.
But anyways, so I go in knowing nothing. You go in knowing like
Enough.
about it.
Yeah, I know the premise. I know who's in it. That's all I know.
I knew Adam Driver was in it. That was about the only thing I knew.
And we very shortly thereafter knew that Shia LaBeouf was in it.
Yes.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
So, I don't know. Just like as an overall for this movie, it was very, very complex.
Yeah.
My issue is I don't know if I dislike this movie.
No, that's the thing is like the movie. It's like because I can enjoy a bad movie, right?
Yeah.
This is probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, but I enjoy it so much that like I can't say it's that bad anymore.
But it's not like funny bad. Well, actually, no. I think it is funny bad.
is.
It's not like a bad movie. It's not poorly written. It's like funny bad. I don't even.
There are like
It's such a mind cluster that I don't even know like where to start, or I don't even know how to put my words. I don't even know how to put my thoughts into words because it's just so odd.
I know the movie premiered for critics in May, and the general consensus amongst the critics was like, we have no idea what to say about this movie.
Yeah.
And I read those reviews in May, and I was like, how can you just not know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, critics have to have something to say about a movie. It was good.
Yeah.
It was bad. Here's what I did and didn't like. No, leaving Megalopolis, I literally could not put words to the feelings I had in my body.
I think I'd maybe give it a review on a future pod after I see it a second time.
I would love to just
Because I'm not a big guy like when it comes to like seeing movies the second time. Although we did that today, I don't do that often. That was because I just really liked that movie.
It was great.
I want to watch Megalopolis one more time to make sure I understand it.
Okay.
It's a very, very, very complex movie.
Well, here's the thing. Is it complex because it's a complex plot, or is it complex because it's not well explained?
see, that's a good question.
Yeah, I don't think that the intricacies of like the family empire are very well explained.
So the one thing that helped me about halfway through the movie, that helped me kind of like understand and better place this movie in my mind of the way I comprehend it, was thinking of it as like, this is how a generation could be. It's not set in the future far enough for it to like make sense in our current timeline.
If I remember correctly, it's in like the 2090s, or did we put the math there?
No, we put the math there that's when we think it should be.
Right.
I think it takes place, what is it, like 2040s?
There's no shot it takes place in the 2040s.
Well, anyways,
Anyway.
we were saying, like, the way people act in this movie and the behaviors of every person in this movie seems as if they grew up with, like, being chronically online or with just, I don't know. So I said, like the older people in this movie, the people that were like 60, seem how I think like our generation's kids will act.
Right.
And then the generation after that, like that being like, not that they become dumber, just like this is hard to explain. It's really complex. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
almost in the way they act and like how far our society has like deprived from initial thought.
I'm sitting here trying to like explain it, and the best way I can,
because you know what I'm saying, and I think it's like if you see that movie, like you'll come to the same thought, but it's hard to put it into words.
Exactly.
And explain what I'm actually saying.
I think the best way I can explain it is that all the adults, by adults I mean like 60 plus characters in the movie, are grown up iPad kids.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
They're just as bratty and
yes,
they're not composed. They don't really have the intellect you would hope they would have. It was honestly, comedy elements aside, it was like a terrifying wake up call to like, I cannot raise 100%. A child to be like this.
And then like imagine like those iPad kids growing up like that. Now imagine what their grandchildren are be like. That was how everyone else acted in this movie. And it was like almost one of those things where like the main character was like just like a little bit smarter than everyone else. So like to everyone else, this dude's like a prophet.
Yeah, the thing is,
well,
like,
actually there's some complex stuff.
He can like stop and unstop time, which is weird.
By saying like, does he go time stop?
He goes time stop, and time just like
or how does Adam Driver talk?
Time stop. I don't know Adam Driver.
Time stop.
He's not like a whiny girl.
Every day I wake up and hope you were dead.
That's no, you're still holding on. I can't.
You're still holding on. Let go.
That's crazy. That was actually pretty good. But the thing is like, I don't think Adam Driver's character is meant to be like this. Okay, obviously he's meant to be an intellectual, architectural genius to this society. But I don't think he's that smart. I think he's just one of the last not dumb ones.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
and I don't think they ever explained how he got his superpower either.
No, they don't.
But that's not even that big of a part of the movie.
We still haven't talked about what makes this movie like crazy though. There are certain key elements of this movie.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Open that can of worms.
All right. And I will be quoting specific things. I will be pointing out characters. Okay. Where do I even begin? It's like, if it's not the characters, it's their dialogue. And if it's not the dialogue, it's the performance. And if it's not the performance, it's the story. It's just always something with this movie. Let's start with Shia LaBeouf's character.
Okay.
The twink fascist.
Those are some strong words, but that's exactly what that character is.
I'm not even being like a jerk or like over analyzing it or anything by saying that. Like literally the two sides of his character that were shown and like the two stereotypes that were meant to associate with his character. First he's a twink, then he's a fascist.
Yeah.
He's a political.
But it goes back and forth.
It does.
Throughout the movie.
And he doesn't have a consistent character arc. Like when the movie needs him to be, he's a very obvious stand-in for a political figure. And when the movie decides not to do that, he just becomes the freak who likes to get it on with any living creature.
So this is super niche. And if my friends are watching this, you'll get this. If you've ever seen the play Cabaret, I think that's the name of it.
You were talking to me about it.
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf's character is exactly I've only seen it once and I don't really remember. There's like this kind of like narrator character throughout it. It's kind of like Deadpool vibes, breaking the fourth wall,
like addressing the audience.
Yeah. So imagine you take that character and you strip all of the charm and fun out of that character. That is Shia LaBeouf's character in this film.
Yeah.
It's confusing. especially like how did they convince him to do that role?
I don't think he needed convincing. He's been off the
I know he's been off the deep end, but it's just like, and then I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Where do you even go next?
Let's talk about some of these one-liners that are just scattered around.
Can I talk about my favorite?
Yeah, and then I'll say my favorite.
All right, so there's this part where Adam Driver's character is tripping balls.
Tripping balls.
And they did a very good job at showing that.
No, it's the most unhinged, like, psychedelic
Yeah.
dreamscape thing I've ever seen.
And then there's this section where you just hear, it's like overlaid many, many versions of his voice saying many different things, like whispers. It's loud. And then I pick out him saying, I want those little hot dogs covered or enshrouded in pastry.
Bro was talking about
Mini corn dogs or pigs in a blanket? He was like, I want those little hot dogs enshrouded in pastry.
Yeah.
And like, it was like I want, and I think there was a pitch change. I could.
It was like a TikTok voice effect. I want those little hot dogs shrouded in pastry. Crazy.
And I just looked over. I'm like, did you hear that? Am I going crazy?
We were the only ones in the theater, so we were allowed to laugh at all the lines we wanted to. We were allowed to pick it apart out loud.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah.
Being able to just go to the theater and not have to worry about other people in there. You can be loud as you want.
It was great.
And we saw Saturday night today. There was like 2 other people behind us.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll just say it real quick. I'm pretty sure they were just like smoking weed.
It was
which
like
has happened to me before. I've been in a theater and had people smoke weed
in the theater.
And then I pulled like a Takashi on them, and I snitched on them to the staff. Those people got kicked out, and I got a free movie.
Dude, put her there.
And I did that this time, and those people did not get kicked out because I think they stopped. They
did.
saw me leave, and I came back in, and I think they stopped.
No, because the weed smell like actually kind of dissipated while you were gone. You were gone for what, maybe like 4 minutes?
Yeah. And I was talking to staff.
I think they kind of caught on to what was going on because we had thrown some like backwards glances. And I don't want to smell that for an hour and a half.
Not really.
Can I briefly talk about my favorite line from Megalopolis?
Go for it.
Okay. So there's the John Voight character, the old man, like the I think he like he's the patriarch of the empire or whatever. Yeah. He's sick in bed, or maybe he's just being old in bed. Dude, I don't remember what he's doing. You can bleep this if you want to. It's a little bit of a profane word. I don't care. But he's sitting in bed, and there's a very obvious protrusion. Extrusion from where a certain participle would be on the male body, and it's very like
apparent. It's framed around.
The center of the shot might as well be this dude's crotch. Anyway, who is it? His wife and Shia LaBeouf's character, and this is spoilers, so zoom ahead like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll put a timestamp.
Put a timestamp on screen. This is spoilers.
So, Shia LaBeouf's character was he having an affair?
He was having an affair with his aunt.
Which, first of all, crazy.
Yeah.
And his uncle was the old dude, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, she was his aunt by marriage, but like still, that's gross. Anyway, so Shia LaBeouf's character and the aunt character, Wow Platinum, played by Aubrey Plaza. Wow Platinum is a name. It's crazy. They walk into the room, and the old man is laying in the bed, participle up, and he says very prominently, "How do you like my boner?" But get this, dear listener,
it was a matter of fact not.
It was not a boner, because after the ensuing conversation, he rips off the covers and reveals it to be like a crossbow.
A miniature crossbow.
A miniature crossbow. And he proceeds to like...
He takes so long to do it too. He's like loading it.
Yeah.
It's like...
And Shia LaBeouf, they stand there.
They're like...
And then he shoots them like...
Did you get the girl in the neck?
Yeah. And then he got Shia right in the chesticle.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Anyway, that was my favorite line. I don't think I've ever heard that word in a movie before.
Chesticle?
Boner.
Oh, really?
I use chesticle all the time.
Never heard it in a movie.
Never heard it in a movie.
No.
Apologies for the profane language. I just thought that was hilarious.
It was. Gosh, that was such a movie.
Yeah.
I don't even. I still, even after talking about it, I'm leaning more towards the side that it wasn't a good movie.
Right.
But I still think I need to watch it again.
You could put a 12 gauge to the back of my head and say, explain this movie, and I couldn't do it.
No.
I couldn't do
Literally,
it.
no.
It's about so much and so little.
I definitely agree with you, though, when you say it was like a wake-up call. Because
Yeah.
it kind of is. And that's something I've always thought of, like, my children, like, the way I want to raise them.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be very much a certain way, especially with, like, technology. Because that seemed to be the overall theme,
Mhm.
is that these people have been deprived of, like, just normalcy and just being normal because
the conditions they're like existing in don't allow for them to be normal. Like they're too far gone.
yeah. No, I don't even do what else is there about that movie to talk about?
About Megalopolis, I encourage everyone to go see it. Make your own opinion. I sound like Fantano here. It's crazy. I'm feeling a light 4 on this one.
Actually, I agree.
Yeah, I think I
For
gave
now,
it.
anyway.
I think I gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd. It's like it's so enjoyable, but like you understand that it's not good. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like
You know what I gave 2 stars on Letterboxd?
what?
Uncut Gems.
Oh,
But I have an explanation.
I don't want to hear it. I love the Safdie brothers.
Okay. This was a time before I really, really dived into film. I was still like I was not in the right mindset. My friend invited me to stay at his parents had like a timeshare
Mm-hmm.
like north of where I live.
Okay.
Wow. And this at the time I didn't live up here. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And they were going to bring the boat. It was going to be a whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like, "Sick." And we did this the year prior.
Mhm.
And it was really fun. And then this time we went and it was pouring rain the entire time. So that was not fun. So his parents and the rest of his family decided to go out somewhere else for like most of the days. And we're like, what do we want to do? And we're like, you know what? We're going to watch and rank every Adam Sandler movie.
That's a wild undertaking, dude.
Obviously the ones that he made short cameos in, like those
don't count.
But we watched a lot. We watched so many movies, dude. It was a span over a couple days, and we ranked them on the Sandler-Scale is what we called it.
Oh my gosh.
So when we going into Uncut Gems, the reason I ranked it on Letterboxd is because first of all, I thought it would be funny out of all the movies. Like I didn't rate any of the other ones on Letterboxd.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought it would be funny to like rate just that one because that's such a like out there claim for that movie because it's a phenomenal movie. I really enjoyed that movie.
Uncut Gems?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, my Letterboxd score is not accurate to my actual thoughts in the movie.
Okay.
I ranked that movie a 2 out of 5 on the Sandler-Scale, which is different than 5 stars because me and Will we made the Sandler-Scale from scratch.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's we had a couple contributing factors. The cast, the people around him, are they the normal people that amplify Adam Sandler's funniness?
Mm-hmm.
Which it is not a funny movie.
Oh, not in the slightest.
So, can you agree with me in the fact that if you are comparing Uncut Gems to the rest of the Adam Sandler, like if you're showing Uncut Gems to a 7-year-old, that
I would never.
well, yes, or to like a young kid
Mm-hmm.
that loves Adam Sandler movies.
They're gonna be disappointed.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not
If
like
you're going in with the mindset of, oh man, I love Adam Sandler comedy movies with all those little cast of buddies.
it's so no. That was the reason they casted him. They were like, this guy's such a good actor. It's just all locked away behind the whole like
A Happy Madison
like
production company.
the butt jokes, like the trailer trash kind of
Like,
vibe.
Yeah,
You know what I
or
mean?
like the guy falls in love with girl in
Yeah.
mistaken way.
Have you seen Punch Drunk Love?
I've not.
That's a phenomenal movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
What was the? I could rant about
Because
we have an Adam Sandler episode.
that's an Adam Sandler movie where he falls in love with a girl, but it's like so different than what you would expect. You know?
Yeah, one of my favorite ones that ranked pretty high on the Sandler scale was the one. What's the name of it? It's the one where he falls in love with the girl that forgets him every
50
single
First
day.
Dates?
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
I think that was like a 4.5 on the Sandler scale.
Dang.
If I had to rate that on IMDb, it would be like a 2.
Oh. Okay.
What? Are you thinking lower?
No, I was expecting you to say. Well, I heard 4.5 on the Sandler scale, but that is
those are
different
not
than
equivalent,
quality.
though.
Yeah, I understand.
That Sandler scale has nothing to do with the quality.
The quality.
Of the movie.
It's Sandler-ness.
Yes.
I see.
Is this a movie traditionally an Adam Sandler movie?
Right.
And how does it compare to the rest of them?
Mm-hmm.
One movie that I think I gave it like a 2 or 3 on the Sandler scale was Pixels. I hate that movie.
Pixels is.
I think the Pixels is the only movie on the Sandler scale that I rated that I think I would give an equal IMDb rating. Actually, maybe even less. Pixels is pretty bad.
I have a bit of a soft spot in my heart for Pixels.
No, dude, shut up.
No,
what would you rate it?
Oh, it's bad. Like a 4 or a 5 out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've been going off the basis of out of 5 this entire time.
Oh, then like a 2 or a 2.5.
Okay.
But it's like bad. I know that. I watched it like when it came out when I was a kid. I didn't see it in the theater, but I think I got it for Christmas that year or something. I don't know why somebody bought me that movie. Maybe I was like Adam Sandler video game movie. Funny.
Dude, okay, I don't know how much you remember that movie. The one thing that pissed me off is the way that they saved the universe with like the Pac-Man like running through the city.
Oh.
Is they got like cars
That was so bad.
as the ghosts.
Yeah.
Were they like Mini Coopers?
Yeah,
too?
they were
Like,
Mini Coopers. It was like a
dude,
Mini Cooper plug.
What in the Mini Cooper ad was that, dude?
What in the goofy Mini Cooper ad?
Notice how none of them, I don't think any of them really got destroyed. Like not a scratch.
Yeah, not a scratch on one of those Mini Coopers.
Convenient. No.
It's a little too convenient.
What's your favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Well, it's either Punch Drunk Love or Uncut Gems. Good question, dude. Probably Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems, yeah.
Well, that's way more rewatchable than Punch Drunk Love because that's
Yeah.
like a tough. I mean, they're both tough watches, but like Punch Drunk Love specifically has like a lot of hard stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
His character in that movie has like an anger issue.
Yeah.
On top of like crippling anxiety and like his overbearing sisters like pushing down on him constantly. So he just has like these violent episodes where he like destroys bathrooms, and it's just like it's so hard to watch a man like unravel like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it is like the best way I've heard it described is it's like a dark rom-com.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's never really been a rom-com like that before. It's like bleak humor, but it's cool. It's awesome.
Dark rom-com?
Yeah, I own Punch
I'm
Drunk
writing one of
Love.
those.
You should
I guess no.
come over and watch it.
I was going to say I'm writing a dark rom-com, but it's not really even, it's not a comedy.
No, it's just
More
a
of a
dark
dark
rom.
rom. Yeah, dark rom. That's crazy.
Dark rom.
No, what was I going to say? I think overall, Uncut Gems is probably my favorite movie that Adam Sandler is in. Mm-hmm. I really like 50 First Dates. That's a good one. But
Happy Gilmore is kind of goated.
oh, I didn't even think about that.
Me neither. That is kind
Or what is The Water Boy?
Oh, I hate The Water
You don't
Boy.
like The Water Boy.
Electricity is the devil. I hate that movie. It's so bad.
Okay, no, but okay. I think Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna say 50 First Dates. I'm gonna say Uncut Gems. Happy Gilmore. I think the Happy Gilmore is such a good movie.
It's like unironically a hilarious
it's a
movie.
cult classic.
Yeah,
too.
it is. It is.
And then I'm gonna get some slack for this because this is objectively this is a bad movie, but it has a soft spot in my heart because I had this on DVD as a kid and I'd play it in my mom's minivan, and it's just like as a kid you're like, oh, this movie's great.
Right. What is
But
it?
it sucks. Click.
I've never seen Click.
You've
in my life.
never seen Click.
No.
It's not great.
I remember
I think you should watch it.
I remember you talking about Click a little bit at school. Like you had a Click kind of thing.
It's not great. I think you should definitely watch it though, just for
the lore.
For the lore, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Steve.
For the pod.
Is it Steve Buscemi?
I love Steve Buscemi.
He's in it, and at least that's what I think.
I love that man.
He's the older one, right?
Yeah, the older one.
Is he in that? Do you know?
I've never seen it. I don't know.
I'm thinking. I'm in between two people. Is it Steve Buscemi? Okay, I could be messing it up. Anyways, he's like.
Keep talking. I'll look it up.
No, he's in the film. He's like, kind of. Let's be honest. It's not a film. It's a movie.
That dude, real.
It's
whatever. I'll do that.
He kind of just like, it's crazy because he's like, oh yeah, man, this remote. Do you know the premise?
He has a remote that can control time, and
Yeah.
like, or like the things around him or whatever.
Yeah, so at first he's like, oh man, this is great, and then he starts like fast forwarding parts of his life, and when he fast forwards it, it just puts him in autopilot mode. So he's like terrible to his family or whatever, and then he gets a divorce with his wife. Then he gets like fat, and then he gets skinny again. But then his dad dies. It's like,
what is this movie? That's crazy.
It is wild. There's this end scene where
Post-credit scene.
It's towards the end.
Click will be back in Click 2.
I don't feel like this is spoilers because this is, first of all, not a great movie. Second of all, if you haven't seen it,
if you're worried about spoilers for Click,
that's crazy.
Probably check
Click
yourself
off.
out.
Click off. No, anyways, and he's like, his wife is like leaving or whatever, and it's like pouring rain. He's running out of the hospital. He just like woke up from a procedure.
Mm-hmm.
He's like running, it's pouring rain, and then he falls down. He's having a heart attack. Also, his kids are grown up. He missed all of raising his kids, which is kind of sad.
That is sad.
And then like the guy that gave him the remote is there in the rain, and he looked at you, and he's like, "I told you." He's like, "I told you I was an angel," and he's like, "An angel of death."
That's the
like,
end.
Close to that. I don't want to spoil all of it. You got to see this movie for yourself. It's crazy.
Okay.
It is so stupid. It is so wild.
That unironically would be a hilarious way to end that movie. It's like
Angel of Death. Do you know the movie? Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. Do you know the movie, the Adam Sandler movie, The Cobbler?
I've never heard of this.
Really? It was on Netflix for a while. I think it's decent. It definitely has an Adam Sandler movie feel.
Okay.
But it's not too wacky because it was like I think it was made in like 2014 maybe.
Okay.
Something like that. It's not like as over the top comedy as the rest. It's about this guy. Do you know what a cobbler is?
I know. It's like a shoemaker, right?
Yeah. So he's a shoemaker, and his like sewing machine or whatever you use to fix shoes breaks, and he finds one. He inherited his dad's shop, and this dude, I'm giving like the TikTok rundown.
Yeah,
where it's like, man,
the man inherits his dad's shop.
No, anyways. So he goes down in the basement, and his dad had a like a sewing machine. So he uses it, and he's like, "Oh, it's an old one."
Yeah.
And every shoe that he fixes with that sewing machine, when he puts on the shoes, he becomes the person.
Oh, that's crazy.
Or like he looks like them.
That's kind of a cracked premise.
And
that sounds cool.
Yeah, no, and he gets like there's like this guy. I think he's like in the cartel or something, or he's like in the mafia, or he's like in ties with them, and basically he becomes this person, and he really goes through it because he put on the shoes of a wanted man. And no, it's just that one I remember being pretty decent.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That's a good premise.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was a good movie. I haven't seen it in ages. It's definitely an Adam Sandler movie, but it's a comedy-ish, but it has more of like a serious tone,
like a drama kind of overtone. Yeah, definitely. Dude, Adam Sandler, what a character. He can really pull out like.
I know that. Okay, that's one thing is comedians, like, first of all, they never win awards.
Ever.
Comedies don't win awards, and there's so many comedians that are actually genuinely really good actors, but just haven't really been given a chance. Like Jim Carrey, like he's played some serious
Truman
roles.
Show. Oh, both so good.
And like even like he shows that he's good enough to do comedies, and he's also good enough actor to play these serious roles.
I know, dude. He might be
He's actually a pretty good actor.
Yeah, I think I told you the
He's a
other
pretty
day.
diverse actor.
I think I told you the other day, and this is a conversation that we'll save for next week's show. But I think I told you that Robert Pattinson might be my favorite actor. Was I telling you that?
Yeah.
Okay. Jim Carrey is like
Up there.
second. Like
Yeah.
like the dude is like got such a range. And
I mean, do you know about like his like startup? Like he tried for a long time to get on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
And
then eventually he made it on Living Color, right? Which is kind of a semi SNL type show, yeah. Right?
Yeah, no,
it was
you're
like
right.
sketch comedy.
But for some reason, they let people like Jimmy Fallon on SNL.
Dude, don't.
He was a one-hit wonder. All he could do. He was terrible at keeping in character.
This is a great segue to our other movie, but
he was terrible at keeping in character, and his whole bit is he could do a couple decent impressions.
Yeah. No, like okay.
Sorry. Let me just say really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I think Jimmy Fallon is the most bare bones you can get in terms of talk show host. He's fairly likable for most audiences.
Right.
He doesn't get too much into politics like the rest.
Mm-hmm.
It's fairly family friendly.
Right.
And it's just like, it's pretty neutral.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm pretty neutral about Jimmy Kimmel. Or sorry, not Jimmy Kimmel. I hate
Jimmy Kimmel.
I'm pretty neutral about Jimmy Fallon as a person compared to other talk show hosts like Jimmy Kimmel.
See, my all-time two favorite talk show hosts.
Conan O'Brien.
Dude,
I love Conan O'Brien.
His style of like kind of edgy, but like, and I say obvious humor not because it's like, oh, anyone would have made that joke, but like, that is the joke that would have gotten the most laughs out of the audience. He just knows.
He knows.
So it's that thing mixed with like his kind of, he's got almost a bit of like an edgy streak with like the jokes he tells. Hilarious. Have you ever seen his series where he does like adventures with his friend Jordan Schlansky?
I have not.
Oh, I'm gonna have to send you some videos.
He used to do a segment on his show where he would go like out in public and he would like, for example, I remember when he did like a tour of like
Do you remember
like Guinness?
Yeah.
Like, dude, those are fun.
Those are great.
Yeah.
And then my other favorite talk show host is Jay Leno. Have you heard of Headlines?
No.
Me and my dad watch Headlines like it's a movie, like every night. So what it is, I mean, you can find like 2-hour compilations of it on YouTube. Yeah. But what Headlines is, dear listener, is it's like people from the audience, like at home, they send letters to the show and they include bits of newspapers that are like typos or they sound wrong or like something about them is funny, and some of them can get really wacky. And it's just the way Jay Leno reads them out.
Did I ever tell you that I've seen Jay Leno in person?
Have you?
Yeah.
I've seen.
My class was, and they all tried to tell me I was wrong.
Maybe
and that it wasn't Jay Leno.
But
it was Jay Leno. I know this for.
Did he have the chin?
He did have the chin.
That's
dude.
crazy.
No, because we were looking. My class, we did a missions trip, and we were going to Belize. We were he wasn't going to Belize.
Okay.
So we went from the Traverse City Airport to.
You just doxed yourself.
It's just a city, dude.
I know.
To the Detroit Airport, and then I think we went to Detroit to Texas, to Dallas. And when we were in the Detroit Airport, before we were boarding, we were waiting at our gate, and I see this guy, and I'm like, dude, that looks just like Jay Leno. I'm like, this has to be Jay Leno. And then he's there with like his wife, presumably his wife, and I'm like, what does Jay Leno's wife look like? And I look up a photo of Jay Leno's wife. I'm like, that is the same person. I'm like, that is Jay Leno right there.
Yeah.
And then, well, first of all, my initial thought was like, okay, Jay Leno's not just like flying like business class.
Yeah.
But we get onto the plane, and it's one of the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of like the double. There's three seats with rows in between.
Yeah.
One of the big ones.
Yeah.
And at the very front, there's the nice first class with the cubbies that close.
Mm-hmm.
That dude boarded first,
yep.
And he was in one of those cubbies.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
And I looked it up, and Jay Leno was supposed to be in Dallas later that week.
That's crazy.
So I'm just saying, dude, that there's such a good chance that was Jay Leno. I have a photo. I can probably pull it up after the pod.
You know who I have a photo of? And I don't have it on my phone. This is like I'm gonna be dropping so many names here.
Okay.
It's really just 2 names. But at a Ringo Starr concert,
Okay, bro.
I know.
Get out of here. I saw Paul McCartney and it enlightened me. I woke up for the first. I became sentient.
I did become sentient at the Paul McCartney show because I went to the Paul McCartney show when I was like 5 years old. Is
this about those?
Well,
because if so, we should save this for the pod with
no,
Allie.
at a Ringo Starr show, my family showed up like hella early.
Yeah.
And we didn't have bad seats, so there was like standing room in the back, and then like the back of the seats, and then like the front row seats.
Yeah, we
were in the back of the seats, and really in the whole like stadium or whatever it was, it wouldn't have been a stadium. I don't know where he played, but it's my family and this one dude in like the third to front row.
Yeah,
the dude looks at my family, gives a creepy little smile, and my mom takes a picture. And my mom looks at the picture, and it's Jack Nicholson.
What?
Yes.
That is wild.
I know. My mom somewhere has a picture of Jack Nicholson doing the Jack Nicholson smile to my family. From like 100, or not 100 feet, but however 50 feet, however far away. Yeah. But I told you I was going to be dropping names, dude. I saw Jack Nicholson at the Ringo Starr show.
What in the world?
I know.
Oh, no, that's crazy. Also,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not like a huge J Leno fan.
That's fine. I think he's hilarious.
I think he's funny, but he's just done some terrible things.
Oh, yeah. They all have.
That's true.
So, I mean,
not Conan O'Brien.
That's just because he hasn't been caught yet, dude.
That's true.
I'm going to be real with you.
He's on his podcast. Also, his podcast is good.
His podcast is super good.
Have you listened to it?
I did it for my assignment.
We both did. Before we were like friends.
Yeah.
We both had a project at. We had like a little separate school that was like for film and stuff.
For the special kids.
No, and we had an English day, and our English teacher made us do a project where we had to review a couple episodes of a podcast of our choice.
Yep.
Which also, that was a pretty solid assignment.
That went on for like a month. Yeah. I was not complaining.
We literally got in and watched podcasts.
That's all we did all day. It was crazy.
Well, we did to write about them, but
that's what I'm. We had to listen and analyze and stuff.
We both did.
Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
Yeah. And also the theme for that song.
Jack White.
Banger.
White Stripes, actually, but you know.
Well, anyways, yeah, no. Have you seen the clip from Conan O'Brien's podcast where I think it was Billie Eilish? She was like, "Can you stand in this corner and scream?" And he literally it's so funny because he like gets up, he takes his headphones off, he's in the dark, pitch black corner, and he just like screams at the top of his lungs, and it's so funny.
I have not seen that, but now I want to. That's great. That's so good.
I feel like we're kind of derailing here.
We are derailing super fast.
I feel like this might be
coming
to the end to
a end on that thing. But there's one thing we still have to talk about.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
The film Saturday Night is my movie of the year.
We touched on this briefly.
We did touch on this briefly. That's what she said.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you. I think Saturday Night is also my favorite movie I've seen this year.
I would give it 5 out of 5 both times I saw it. I'm not going to lie to you. And I know it's not the 5 out of 5 filmmaking or quality, but it pulls you in and makes you. I thought it
was pretty good though.
No, it's
I
like
love the color grade. Here's the thing. I think one testament to how good it is and why I think it would also be a 5 out of 5 both times I saw it were because it's like takes place on the first ever recording of Saturday Night, or the first ever stream, or whatever you want to call it. Broadcast.
You are
okay.
The first ever live stream.
Okay, anyways, and how chaotic it was, and I think a testament to how good it is both times is I've seen it twice, and both times I was like equally stressed.
I know
while watching it.
No, because there were things at the ending when I was like literally on the edge of my seat, like, is this gonna happen? Even though I'd already seen the movie, and it's just a piece of history. Like we know how this ended.
And I showed my mom the trailer, and she was like picking out all the people because I don't really know them super well. I was actually like looking up the cast from that year and, like,
in the theater.
and compare. There was only one other person in the theater.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was,
It was Jake, and he was asleep.
And I was comparing like how accurate some of these people look.
It's mind blowing. But
if you haven't seen it, out of all the movies we recommended today, that is the movie you need to see.
It's the movie of the year. And my parents kind of, their humor from their generation and what humor of theirs they passed on to me is all 90s SNL. So it's like Mike Myers.
Mine too.
Yeah. Mike Myers and Dana Carvey and I can't even Chris Farley and David Spade, like that group.
Yeah.
So I already kind of went in with like an inherent appreciation for SNL, but like old SNL, not the new stuff is like fine. It's not my favorite.
It's been worse.
It's been. Have you seen the fart face sketch?
No.
It might be one of my favorite sketches of all time, and it bombed when they played.
Mm.
I'll tell you. Well, we'll talk about this. Maybe we can make this like a Patreon exclusive. That's crazy, but no. The Saturday Night is a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
It's so well made.
I think that's the consensus, is that it is the movie of the year. That's the movie you're going to go see. Speaking of movies that I think could be the movie of the year, possibly close, if played right, the Bob Dylan movie.
Oh, we'll see.
Dude, I really hope that movie's good.
Okay, here's my trepidation. Are you ready?
Yeah.
James Mangold is the director of this project.
Yes.
Bro has directed Walk the Line, Logan. Okay, he's got some good movies under his belt. He also directed the last Indiana Jones movie, and he also directed Ford vs. Ferrari, which people liked. I got so bored with that movie. So I'm like, if he doesn't handle this Bob Dylan story well, then that's it. The movie's toast. Because he has shown to me with his last few projects that he is not as capable as of late to deliver on an interesting story. But I don't know. I am still excited for the movie and the recording of the pod both.
Yeah, so we're gonna go see it with a good friend of the pod,
Friend of the show,
Allie.
Hello, friend of the show.
And we're gonna go see it with her. She low-key put me on to pretty much all the music I listen to. I mean, obviously, the music I listen to is different than the music she listens to, but I wouldn't be in the spot of music I listen to now if it wasn't for her.
Real. Mm-hmm.
She has a really, really just like exquisite and great taste for music.
She's also a fan of Aerosmith, so there's that.
Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. We'll get into that then.
Cut that out.
No, but so we're gonna see the Bob Dylan movie with her. Have her on the pod. We're gonna yap.
Yap.
I think we should record that pod after the movie.
I think so too. I think we need to see it probably during the day sometime.
I think the only reason we recorded the Whiplash one is because we all have seen Whiplash.
Yeah, we had all already seen it, so there's
Yeah.
like no reason to come back after.
Mm-hmm. And then hopefully next week we should have the week we should have the Lighthouse video podcast up.
Yeah, that would be so nice to have that video up. And Saturday night. I don't think, honestly, I think just because of subject matter and style of movie, I don't think Saturday Night is going to get displaced by the Bob Dylan movie.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it will be up there.
Okay, look, I'm just going to take I'm going to have like a Jonah minute real quick. I'm going to explain why this movie is like so up my alley. This is why you guys just need to go see Saturday Night. Okay. So it's a comedy, right? But I think one of the only things that really informs that feeling is that it's a movie about comedians.
I think, yes. Because
Yeah.
now that you say it, it clicks in my mind that
There's nothing
it
funny.
really isn't a comedy.
It's
a movie
thriller.
about comedians.
Yeah.
That's the best way to
Dude,
put it.
Honestly, it's a thriller about comedians. I'm not going to lie to you. Like the jokes that are happening, granted they are hilarious, but you're laughing because they're being done by characters who are comedians and who are like already funny. That one joke makes me laugh every time.
I know exactly.
You know it's exactly which one I'm talking about. Whoops. Anyway,
so stupid.
It's so stupid.
No, but
Yeah. Just for this movie, I'm just a quality certified strumpet or whatever.
You're dealing with a certified male strumpkin.
It's not a strumpkin.
I know, but it sounds like he says strumpkin. Which
You're
is
dealing with
funnier.
a certified male strumpet. It's the craziest thing I've ever. And he says it like 5 times to the same woman in the whole movie. He like pins her up against the wall and is like, you're dealing with a certified male strumpet.
What was the thing he said the second time? He's like, I deal with the Animal House or something like that.
Oh, I remember when John Belushi and Chevy Chase got in a fight. I didn't notice this the first time, but Chevy Chase, after they were fighting in like the dressing room, Chevy Chase said, "This is why you don't give animals Coke," which was like crazy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't. What else is there to say?
I think that's it. Consensus: go see Saturday Night.
Also go see Megalopolis, but for different reasons.
Also, subscribe if you haven't. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? And for audio listeners, we hope you enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this audio production. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay. You don't need to do that.
I don't need to be doing all
this
that.
Will be up on Spotify and YouTube, and we'll be in the same spots next week.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys like the more like kind of intimate, laid back feel.
Almost romantic vibe.
Okay. Well, no, just let us know down below if you prefer this kind of more laid back rather than out there kind of more out, because I like it in here.
I like it in here too. I mean, look,
very percussion-y.
This is very music coded. We got the modern drummers and the CDs and
I did not think we were gonna yap this long.
We yapped like a crazy amount of time. Well, the Adam Sandler thing really.
Yeah.
We were derailing.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Same spot. Not the same time.
Not the same time.
But,
not the same channel. Channels don't exist anymore.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys.
All right. Until next time. Peas. Peas and blankets.
Peas in a pot.
Oh, give me those little hot dogs in a blanket. I was like, I really like those hot dogs covered, shrouded in peas. Do you like my boner?
Okay, bro.